Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm joined in studio with Matthew Holt, VP of Business Development at CG Technology, and we're going to go behind the counter. This is something we do on our podcast. We've done on radio shows with you, Matt, and the public loves this for two reasons. One, you give them good information for the upcoming week, where the sharps are at, where the squares are at. You give some picks of your own. But I hate to tell you, one of the most popular parts of it is they like when I come on and I ask you which game hurt you guys last week. They like to hear you guys feel pain, unfortunately. I don't know why. You're such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Was there any games last week that you felt a little pain on?
Well, it was an interesting situation on Sunday because we started off the morning red hot. Our biggest liability, and it was 2 times bigger than our second biggest liability, was the Atlanta Falcons spread. And with the Bears covering that number, and then the Cleveland Browns covering that number, Pittsburgh, our second biggest liability early, Cincinnati Bengals losing, Houston Texans losing bad. We had an unbelievable morning. We're up well over 7 figures in the morning games, and then it comes the revenge of the bettors in the afternoon. Green Bay Packers, Carolina Panthers, and a heavy dose of the Dallas Cowboys, especially with no Odell Beckham Jr. And we ended up getting whipped in the afternoon and the night, turning an unbelievably great day into just an okay day. So a great morning followed by revenge of the bettors in the afternoon, and the Sunday night game, a lot of people had teas, money line parlays, a lot of stuff going to the Cowboys, and it was all boys Sunday night.
Well, speaking of teasers, though, you guys got off to a great start on Thursday night with the New England Patriots. Not you're a New England Patriot fan. We know that. So it wasn't fun for you as a fan, but it was definitely fun for you walking into the office Friday morning because all of the people upstairs had to be happy with the results of Thursday night. Because not only did the Patriots not cover, which is always going to be still a plus for you guys, but them losing outright, it just killed every teaser that was set up. And you know, starting the week off, how many teasers had the Patriots, tied with something?
Patriots-Pittsburgh was the most popular teaser of the week going into Thursday, and it ended up having more teasers than any other two the entire weekend anyway, just because going into that Thursday, it felt like such a lock to so many bettors. Just bet the Patriots and the Steelers on a teaser. They're both going to get home. Obviously, that didn't happen. But I will say this, those two teams, the Patriots won, and then the Arizona Cardinals. We had 2 of the bigger line adjustments in the futures market that we've seen in a while on week 1. The Kansas City not just winning, but winning how they did Thursday night. They went from 32, 35 to 1 all the way down to 15 to 1 to win the Super Bowl, 8 to 1 to win the AFC. And on the other side, the Arizona Cardinals, who were kind of the sexy, sharp pick, supposed to rebound this year, who had gone all the way down to about 18 to 1, all the way back to 60 to 1 now, because not only did they lose and fall apart versus the Detroit Lions, they lost their best player for 3 months. So this week not only played havoc on the book and the teasers and the amount of handle we did, it also played a little havoc on the futures market.
Yeah, losing the running back puts back on the shoulders of Carson Palmer, and that's what nobody wants because he was atrocious in that fourth quarter on Sunday. Let's shift gears to this week. Do you guys have any games that you have a situation where you've got some liability?
Starting off on the college board, UCLA at Memphis. There is a strong history trend of Pac-12 teams going to the East Coast, playing on that 9 a.m. Pacific time start, having some real bad luck. Look no further back than Stanford going to Northwestern. Some of the games that they've had. This is a tough, historic trend spot for UCLA, and the Sharps are taking note of that, despite the fact that UCLA's red hot. You think you'd have a lot of Bruins money coming in. Not the case here. A lot of sharp money on the Memphis Tigers and Riley Ferguson there to get the job done at home, and that line's dropped all the way down to 3 now. Another one, big mover this week, Middle Tennessee State quarterback Brent Stockstill, maybe one of the most important players to his team in college football. We saw that line open up, 8.5, Minnesota getting that huge win last week on the road. That one's already 10.5, 11, and Stockstill's still questionable, but just the fact that he may not be 100%, he's so important to the team. As good as Minnesota looked last week, we're seeing a lot of action here on Minnesota at home. Another one is the Oregon Ducks. So they got a lot of love last week. Nebraska was actually our biggest point spread winner last week, over $300,000 winner on Nebraska, coming back late to get the backdoor cover against Oregon, and they're getting a lot of love here this week against Wyoming. Look, remember that line when it opened in the games of the year, how small it was, Oregon at Wyoming, and even when it closed in the games of the year, it was around 10. We opened 14 this week with Oregon, and they're still betting them. A lot of 119 points in 2 games for the Ducks. They're a believer there that they're getting them done. And the last one on the college board, Texas at USC. USC opened 18 down to 15.5. A lot of question marks around the Texas quarterback situation, but a lot of people thinking coming off that big emotional win for USC against Stanford, their biggest arch rival, maybe a little bit of a letdown spot against Tom Herman and the Longhorns.
Yeah, that was a triple revenge spot for USC against Stanford. So, yeah, I agree with you with a letdown spot there. Do you have anything for the listeners? You want to give them a little morsel you like this week in college or pro?
I look to a Thursday night game here, Boise State. The line's already moved quite a bit, but at least it's still over 14. You certainly can't catch 17 with New Mexico anymore, but you can still catch 15, so you're catching better than 2 touchdowns. I like betting against teams on the short week. Boise State had a 31-10 lead in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes to play, blew that lead, went to double overtime, and lost that game. That is a really devastating emotional loss. Now coming back on the short week, playing a rival who beat them outright 2 years ago, I'm going to take the +2 touchdowns with New Mexico on Thursday night.
That's Marco's situational play for sure. Go against that double overtime game loser for sure. Hey, guys, check out a 3-day all-access package at Wager Talk. You want to jump on for just the weekend? Well, great way to do it. You can pick up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You choose. You pick the day you start. It's 3 consecutive days, just $59. Pick your favorite capper. Get all of his plays, college and pro, baseball included, for the 3 days. Check it out each and every weekend at wagertalk.com. We'll be back with more here at Wager Talk.